Okay, so let's take a look. Okay, so this is chapter 4, section 1, the essential core to practicing the path of the three vehicles. All right. So the section 2 is the stages of practicing practice in the three vehicles. Number 1, generally the Sravaka practitioners are the main audience of the three vehicles. All right. So we understand this. Second is about the detailed explanation on the different aspects of this practitioner. There we go. Number 3 is concluding reminder that all the practitioners all are practicing the path in liberation. The second is a general explanation that the main focus of the three vehicles in the study is the study of the Four Noble Truths and the law of dependent originations. Then we go to the details. All right. Okay, previously we have already covered the noble truth of suffering and the noble truth of the accumulation of the suffering. Okay, I think today our syllabus will be still within the area, the noble truth of the accumulation of suffering, but we will go through, we might be able to finish reflection on the cause and result of the supramundane world and also the cessation of the suffering, the path to the cessation of the suffering. Okay. So now we try to go to see our text today. Okay, so in our previous class, we go through the verses number 74. The Buddha, to include all the affliction, points to self-centered view, self-love, ignorance, and arrogance. Because of the attachment to I and my, birth and death will always continue. Meaning to say that, okay, the attachment I and my is the major cause for the birth and death. All right. Then we go to here, we mentioned that in the realm of form and formless, anger without rise, to include all the affliction of sentient beings, the Buddha had a separate fourfold classification of affliction into self-centered view, love, arrogance, and ignorance. Okay. So besides, we talk about that special characteristic of the sentient being, which includes, let's take a look, there will be the ignorance with regards to the self, self-centered view, arrogance of the view, and self-love, 4 in total. Okay. Well, in Agama, we divide the affliction to 2 groups, 40 view or faults in human connections. Okay. Then lastly, okay, we go to the last point. Okay. Every affliction has the function of triggering and nurturing the karma. So it has the power of causing birth and death. Okay, so that is the powerful for the affliction. And what is the fundamental? Here is using the love. In Pali, it's supposed to use the tanha. I think maybe craving is better translation. Because we use love, it sounds not that nice, especially in Buddhism terminology. Am I right, Mr. Leong? In Theravadin, they will use craving instead of love, right? Maybe on the mic, correct? Okay. And you see, the view of I and my is different way to check the problem. Then, as an analogy, a blindfold person trapped in the thorn bushes. Okay, so this is the previous, previous recapitulation. Well, anyway, Elena, okay, remember that you sent me a video clip. Okay, do I really answer your questions? You sent me the video clip to comment whether it's true that in Theravadin there will be they will get some folks there, maybe from some coughing. It's mentioned that there will be some messenger come to save the people. Do I answer it? Okay, you get it, No, Elena, why I have mentioned, because the video clip you sent is quite related to our topics. Why? Because Cambodian and also the Thailand, the dharma which is so prevalent in both the country is what we are studying now. They got the features. So as long as we know the feature very well, no matter how the Christian they want to bluff, they want to add in, they can't bluff us. Since we know there's some features in the different stages of the Buddhism. Okay, so Elena, I answer your question right For the that okay. So we continue to do our lesson. Okay, so now we go from page 131. From this one sees the ignorance. Yes, Mr. Leong, any question? Let me on the mic for you. Yes. On the mic for you.
Regarding verse 74. Regarding 74.
74.
Attachment to I and mine. Is this I and mine the ego?
Yes. Yes. Sometimes we can interpret as an ego. Ego is another word to show, but the ego is not the ego which we use to describe the dignity of the people. Sometimes the people, they have the dignity, they feel the ego at the same time. But here the ego is not supposed to use to express the dignity, but that is the a very subtle defilement and cause people have the wrong perception of I. Okay, or Mr. Leong. So sometimes since there's we don't have a standardized terminology in English, we have to refer back Pali sometimes. Okay, Mr. Leong. Okay, ego is okay. I know ego has been widely used in Theravadan English texts. Okay. So please, so Mr. Leong, you go to read from this 1C. Mr. Leong, please.
From this one sees that ignorance is the root of birth and death, and that the emancipation that comes from birth and death is primarily from the power of wisdom. The primary ignorance is not understanding both non-existence of the self and attachment to I and mine. The self, the I, carries the sense of having mastery and control, of making decisions for self and controlling others. The will of I and mine takes the I as the center and makes all others belong to it. All I own, all I know, and all I control are to be decided by my wishes. Intentionally or not, sentient beings actually go about all their activities this way, embracing all and holding the self as the center, although, of course, not even the most powerful dictator can succeed in this, and also firmly attaching to all. This self-centeredness is a very strong and cohesive centripetal force. The power of karma generated from these activities is the force that brings about birth and death and forms the individual entities of sentient beings. Actually, there is no unchanging and independent entity, no self such as the Atman or the soul described by non-Buddhists. There is only the sum total of the activities of the body and mind, the 5 aggregates, the 6 sense organs, the 6 elements. Because of the attachment to the will of I and mine, the illusion of permanent and independent self arises. Because one grasps onto I and mine, a centripetal force is formed and condenses into individual entities. But this is brought about by karmic force, which is nature limited. So after some time, the karma comes to an end and the individual dies. There are also those who die because the blessings come to an end. They die suddenly. However, the afflictions based on the will of I and mine still exert their embracing and condensing power, leading to a new life and another series of karma processes. Thus, sentient beings continue in the endless cycle of death and birth and death.
Okay, thank you so much. Let us try to digest these 2 big charts. Mr. Leong, please thumb up if you finish highlighting the point. Basically, touch is an example which is commonly used to describe the reincarnations from one life to another life. And why the touch is keep on, why the torch is keep on burning from one torch to another torch, the reason is because of the karma. The material as if it's the karma, all right? And the fire we used to describe as our ignorance or the love. As long as there is a karma there, the torchlight will be continuous and will be from one state and to another state, from one state to another state. When there's no more torchlight, you need to say that there will be the end of the reincarnation. Basically, just now there's the two big paragraph. Repeat whatever mentioned just now. The previous lesson only. A few points. First, why there is reincarnation is due to the perception of the I or the mind, and I and mind, the wrong perception will keep on creating the karma, and the karma will bring the effect, and the effect will bring us to continue for reincarnation and from one life to another life. And the wisdom is the only ways to eradicate the ignorance. Okay, that is the point for the whole passage. So we need to say that if let's say our blessing gone and finished, sometimes we'll die immediately. Once the blessing gone. Okay, so this is some perception here. Okay, well, but from here, maybe people will ask that if let's say whatever karma we do will make us suffer for reincarnations, why we still have to do some dana? Actually, dana can prolong our reincarnation. If that's the case, why we still have to do the dana? Sally, what do you think? Okay, on the mic for you. Yeah, please.
You do the dana is to lighten what your karma, your bad karma.
Lighten the bad karma, but it still will prolong our reincarnation.
I know if it prolongs, but then if the next reincarnation, it will be maybe a better life.
Yeah, you get the point already. You see, it is true. No matter good or bad karma, both will prolong the reincarnation. This is true. Okay. Even though we aim for arahantship, we might not be attained within one life. Even though we aim for Buddhahood, maybe we will need kapas of the time for attainment, to attain, for attainment. So we need to say that before we reach our goal, we still need to eat. We still need the clothes to wear. For both monk and the layman, we all need it. If without doing the dana, if without the support of the dana, we don't have a finished. Without the ample requisite, how can we continue for the cultivation? So Sally, you answered correctly. So basically meaning to say that every time, once you have done the dana, please transfer the merit that. To accrue the merit, bring you to the ways toward to the nibbana. Always remember this. If you don't make the vows to make the merits accrue you don't accrue the merit and bring you to the nibbana, the merits might bring you to keep on reincarnating. For example, that will bring you to the sensuous heaven. Well, you enjoy there, but you prolong the suffering some more. Okay, so always remember how after do the dana, including me, whatever good deed I do, I will transfer all the merit to the nirvana. Then we need to say that I will properly use the effect of the dana to helping me along the ways to the nirvana. That will be correct. So said it good. You got the right answer. Okay, yeah. Let's continue, have a look. So I think roughly all my point already stated. So let me see, do I miss anything? Oh yes, there's one more point. They say, okay, no such an Atman or the soul. A class, Atman is the Pali word. It's the Pali word. Atman or the soul. Why we talk about the soul? Sometimes we prefer use souls to describe the reincarnation since we feel properly, right? You see, for example, when people die, you imagine that the soul come out from the body to another body, right? We imagine the soul come out to another body. But actually, this perception of soul has been opposed for 1,000 years ago. They said this is not the correct way. Okay, well, if that's the case, what is the correct way? The correct way is the reincarnation is due to the consciousness. Consciousness meaning to say that it keeps on changing all the time. But if you talk about soul, the Atman, meaning to say that it is something which is without changing. For example, say you die, maybe the soul it just look like you and me, and from one body to another body. Well, this is not the perception for being adopted by the Buddhism. No. But anyway, sometimes in order to make people easier, soul is a very good way to make people, especially non-Buddhists, to understand, to make it fully understand. All right. So meaning to say that we don't believe there's an Atman or the soul. Okay. So what happening here is just the five aggregate. I mean, the changing of the five aggregate along the time and in the continuity with some. And according to the law of rise and force. So that is the activity. I mean, that is the activity which is keep on running. Okay, in our sixth sense. That is the true self. But just we are in the ignorance. We fail to discover it. It is keep. I mean, the rise and force of the activity in our, which is created by our sixth faculty. So now we go to proceed. Okay, maybe we go to deeply better understand that the path. Okay, but before the path, we used to answer first what is the cessation of the suffering. Okay, now we'll go to the last part is the dependent of origination. It will explain the whole thing. Okay, Elena, please, can you please read it out? Okay.
Dependent origination, suffering and accumulation become entangled with one another. Death and birth arise from dependent origination, which has 12 links as taught by the Buddha. They are like a castle or a fruit tree. Dependent origination is a vertical explanation of the mutual production of accumulation and suffering, complementing the horizontal explanation of the first and the second noble truth. One should know that not only does accumulation cause suffering, suffering also causes accumulation. For example, sentient beings, after suffering the retribution of birth, resume the activities associated with afflictions and karma arising from the karmically caused miserable fruit that is the body and mind. Suffering and accumulation pass and become entangled with one another, alternating the cause and effect. If one understands this, one comprehends the arising of death and birth from conditions. The Buddha said that there was no beginning to birth and death, just as in the case of accumulation and suffering. Suffering comes from accumulation, and accumulation also arises from suffering. Birth and death occur in circular fashion. In an hour, the minute hand of a clock moves from 1 to 12, and then from 12 to 1. But it is hard to say where an hour starts. The true understanding of dependent in origination discloses the beginningless continuation of birth and death.
Okay, thank you so much. We digest these two paragraphs first. Okay. Mr. Leong, please thumb up if you finish. Okay, thank you so much. I think in the previous lesson, we are using this diagram, right, Elena? This is the diagram we were using in the past lesson, okay? Where in the past lessons, from now onwards, we'll go deeply to understand the reincarnation, especially based on the dependent origination, all right? In the reincarnation, in the dependent origination, what we can see is the, you see, causes, effect, causes, effect. In other words, this is a different way to describe the first and second noble truth. Remember that first and second noble truth, meaning to say that is the suffering and the cause of the suffering. Here we keep on mentioning the suffering and the cause of suffering, but it is in the vertical way. But for four noble truth, which is in the horizontal way meaning to say that which is without counting the time, you see. The time is not take into the consideration, but here we will take into consideration present lives, past life. Here's the present effects, meaning to say that is the present life. Past causes, meaning to say that is the past life. This is the present causes, it still is the present life, and this is the how to say, is the future, is the what I don't see clearly how. This is the what future effect. Which will be our future life. Okay. Well, okay. Let's say this is the present effects, meaning to say that this is our present life. Okay. We got a consciousness, we got a mind and the matter. Okay. This is our body. All right. So well, what is the? This is the effect. Why do we have the body and the consciousness? It's due to the past causes, which is ignorance and also the mental formation. Okay. So this is how Shakyamuni mentioned to us, and we use this, even though this diagram, we just see a present life, future life and the past life, but we can use it to describe the multiple future life and the multiple past life. Okay, I think you get what I mean. Okay, well, from here, if people ask, okay, we say, okay, this is the cause is due to the ignorance and the mental formation. Okay, do you prefer this explanation class? We are using the clock ways to explain, and we said that it is without beginning. This is beginners for the reincarnation. Class, do you like this explanation? If you don't like it, can you suggest alternative? How about, yeah. No, this is the question that you used to be asked, you know. For example, okay, this is the question used, it's a very challenging question, especially in the monotheism. Okay, so monotheism said that why there is a I is due to the God, right? God created everything, including I, right? Okay, and then there's many things includes what Adam, Ephra, Apple, all this. Well, finally everything goes back to the God. So if let's say there is a one causes and there is a beginner, they say God is the begin. If I further ask who created the God, how can you answer me? Yeah, who will create the God? You know what I mean? This is a very challenging question, you know. If let's say this is how the religions, every religions have to establish that the theory that why the world is, how the world is running, what is the reason, and how is the origin for the world, the whole world. And then after they suggest this, they have to, after they tell you the theory, how the establishment of it, they have to tell you how to cessation for the for the whole thing, in order you can get back to see your God. So meaning to say that they say God created everything. So finally, their way they will suggest that you have to beg forgiveness from the God. You have to please the God. You have to do the the mass, everything. Then you can go back. In the finally in the apocalyptic, right? Mr. Le, how do I pronounce the word? The day of the doomsday, right? Or apocalyptic. What? Let me on the mic for you again. Yes. What? How what lah?
Prophecy.
I didn't get it. It doesn't mind. Okay. Meaning to say the doomsday, right? The doomsday. In the time to decide. I mean, the last day for the whole world, the world is going to ruin, and the God, they will handpick somebody to go to the heaven. All right. Okay. So this is how the Christian they establish their way of the thinking, their way to describe the world. But for us, we don't believe. For us, we notice that the theory there's some weak point. There will be some shortcoming in the theory, because if I further ask who is going to create the God, you can't answer. For us, we don't we have never encountered such challenge. The reason is we say the beginning is endless. You can't say when is it began and when will be the ending. If you're still in the suffering, if you're still in the reincarnation, there will be this keep on. I mean, if you don't liberate it, you'll be keep on continue for the reincarnation. But of course, sometimes people they prefer ask this type of question. They say, why there is without endless of the beginning and also without endless in the future? If they keep on asking this, we will try to answer with the analogy of the with the analogy of the arrow. Okay, well, I mean, during Buddha time, there's one hunter. Okay, he has been hit by the arrow. All right, he go to look for the doctor. Okay, so but without asking the doctor to go to heal the wound, he keep on asking. The doctor keep on asking that. No, the patient keep on asking that. Okay, how what is the major part of the arrow? Is the part is the fur is from the Is from the peacock or from the pigeon? How about the matter? Is the matter is come from iron or the gold? Well, this is all is unnecessary question. For you, you should just pull out the arrow and heal your wound. That is the main cause. That's the main thing you should do. Same. If the people keep on asking the question, why there's no ending for the past and the future, it's just like keep on asking nonsense question regards the arrow. So what should you do is you should immediately start to understand the theory and start to do the Sila Samadhi Panya and end the suffering. So you get it? If the people ask the nonsense question, we'll use this analogy of the arrow to answer this. Do you get what I mean? Do I express myself clearly? Mr. Leong, clear?
Very clear.
Very clear. Okay, so you get it. I mean, this is a very popular analogy in Theravada, I think. So Mr. Leong knows it very well, but maybe Elena also Sally can hardly to hear it because Mayana is not very popular. Okay, so we understand that is the part for the dependent origination. Okay, let me try to further elaborate. See whether I missed any point or not. Okay, yeah, all the point is already there. Okay, I finished all the point already. I use my own sentence to present it. Okay, now Elena, your turn to read the main meaning.
The main meaning of the doctrine of dependent origination is that all that exists has arisen from causes and conditions. These causes and conditions have also arisen from causes and conditions. Therefore, everything that exists has causes and conditions. It is their fruit. This thing that exists right now has power to influence the future. So it is also a cause. From this perspective, a creation such as proclaim is impossible. A creator who causes what exists without being caused is unreal, a product of fantasy. The Buddha gave reference to discourses about dependent origination because people had different capacities. The version with 12 links happened to be more complete and has become the classic exposition. Alternatively, the Buddha taught a version with 3 links: affliction, karma, and suffering. From afflictions comes karma. Karma causes the fruit of suffering, which in turn leads to the arising of afflictions. He also taught a version with 5 links: desire, clinging, existence, birth, and aging, sickness, and death. This is frequently seen in the Agama Sutra. He also taught dependent origination in 10 links: consciousness, name and form, mental and physical phenomena, the 6 faculties: contact, sensation, desire, clinging, existence, birth and aging, sickness and death. But the 12 link version is taught causes volitional action. Volitional action causes consciousness and so forth, ending with birth as the cause of aging, sickness, and death. All 12 links are part of the process of continual birth and death of sentient beings. The sequence of past and future mutual production of causes and effects is divided into 12, which the ancient master very reasonably called the separate stages of dependent origination. Only by such an examination can one fully comprehend the process of the round of birth and death. Although the explanation do vary somewhat, there is only one principle of dependent origination. Further research has suggested that these 12 links are probably a summary of different explanations, so they may not necessarily be exactly the same as the ancient master. Separate stages of dependent origination.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's take a look. You see this sentence? A creator who causes what exists without being caused is unreal, a product of fantasy. You see, meaning to say that we don't buy the concept of creator, but creator is the issue for all monotheism, which is the Judaism, Christian, and also Islam. Three of them are monotheism, and they come from same family and same Old Testament. But finally, there's a quarrel, there's a conflict between the brothers. Three of them are brothers, but they conflict each other and incur wars, and a lot of people die due to the religions. So people misuse the religion and cause the conflict. Okay, Buddhism lesser, there's still some conflict within us, but not as many as them, and the casualty not that terrible. Let's take a look. What have we read? What is about just now the article? We go back to this diagram. All right. Okay. The article mentioned that one day is this is a 12th link of the conditions. So we don't buy the idea of the creator. But this 12th link of the exposition is the most classic and most popular. This is not the main one. If you go to the Nikaya carefully, sometimes we'll just discover 3 links only. Sometimes we will discover 6 links only. Sometimes we will discover 9 links only. But anyway, the 12th link is the most complete way because it includes everything there. Possible, it might be completed by the commentator, possible, or maybe it's also from Buddha, or I don't know. But with the complete of explanation, we have a good idea that, meaning to say that whatever consequence we have now, for example, we have a body and mind, and the consciousness must be due to the past karma. This is the past causes. But in the present causes, meaning to say that whatever craving you have and whatever attachment you have, you are going to create the future for you. So meaning to say that whatever we do now, there's the effect for our future. I don't know whether you get the point or not. Actually, from now, Buddhism teaches the rules and the regulation behind the reincarnation. Meaning to say that if you master the rules behind it, you can master the life for yourself. And you can decide where you want to go in your next life. I don't know whether you get the point or not. That is the point in the dependent origination, actually. But of course, you have to train yourself. If let's say, say that you want to go to the first jhana, you must be able to attain the first jhana first. Or maybe you want to go to the immaterial sphere, you have to attain the jhana of the immaterial sphere. Okay, if you want to attain the liberation, you must be able to you must be able to clear, you must be able to remove the ignorance and the craving. Okay, of course, it seems the theory is easy, it's easy than practicing. But the problem is, if we totally don't know, so we can't do anything. We just born as a human. Every day just eat and sleep like in MCO. But of course, now we know all already. If let's say you really want to go to jhana, you do meditate more. You just meditate more. If you wish to be born as a human, you don't do much in meditation, but you do more good deeds, especially the deed involve the dana, the contributions to the temple society, all these things. You see or not? So you can decide your future destination actually in this dependent origination. So far, have you already decided? Say you aim for liberation this life. Am I right? Yes. How about Elena? Person Pure still haven't decided yet. Okay, never mind. Just we don't decide if we are not ready to decide. Okay, how about Mr. Liang? I on the mic for you. Okay, yes.
It's not as easy as we speak. We have to practice it daily.
Yeah, what is your destination? I mean, your goal.
My goal, if in this case, if we can be liberated in this lifetime, then we should do it. So must be seafood also.
You mean you aim for Western Pure Land? If let's say this life you can't liberate it, you mean?
No, what I mean is, if we can, if it's possible in this lifetime, then we should do it earnestly lah.
I know if impossible, you aim for Western Pure Land, you mean?
Yes.
Oh,
Western,
well, I think you shouldn't have a double aim. You cannot be so greedy. You have to set a destination. Both is a different direction. Okay. Never mind. Mr. Leong, you can decide after the final chapter. Okay, you can't have two boats. You have to choose one boat to travel. You did time some.
we must have plan A and plan B or plan C. Either one. If we fail plan A, we can plan B. Plan B fail plan C.
Meaning to say that if according to what you plan, if you can't board aeroplane, then you will ship to board the boat. If you can't get the boat, you go to the train. But I think it is quite possible because train stations are different. You see, airport is there, then the harbor is there, then the train station is there. How can you just ABC like that? You have to really aim one thing and just directly go. So Mr. Leong, I think plan A, plan B, plan C might not be adoptable here. You try to rethink. I think it's not practical. We can't hear properly. We can't hear properly. The line is not.
The thing.
The line is not that good.
You see, people mostly emphasize on ignorance, but many of them never realize that the main cause of suffering is birth itself. The becoming, they want the becoming so that birth. If we can eliminate not coming to this samsaric cycle, then there won't be any suffering.
But I still don't get how can you have a plan A, B, and C, because three of them is a different station. Never mind, Mr. Leong, the sound system not that good. Maybe you can type it. Text me later on. You text us later on. The sound not that good. Okay. Sedi, am I right? Mr. Leong, sound system not that good, right? Mr. Sedi, right? Yeah. Never mind. You text us later on. The sound system not that good, Mr. Leong. Okay, let's continue. Let me check whether I finished all the point or not. You see here, everything must be based on the condition. Different explanation, 10 link, 12 link. Okay, I finished all the point. So Sally, your turn, please. The Buddha.
The Buddha used different parables to explain 12-fold independent origination. First, he said it is like a castle. Sentient beings are like people enclosed in a castle, able to get to the door. The only exit is blocked by guards. If they approach a door, they are unable to get out. Sentient beings, even though they have the possibility of liberation from this situation, are confused by afflictions. They are unable to break through this continuous chain of dependent origination and find liberation. The Buddha also said dependent origination is like a fruit tree. Seeds germinate and sprout to form branches and leaves. Flowers bloom and bear fruits. Fruits contain seeds that in turn germinate, sprout, and bear leaves. Although the previous growths are not the same, the future ones, they have a close relationship of cause and effect. In the mutual production of seeds and fruits, the seeds and fruits continue to exist. This is the most appropriate analogy to illustrate the continual dependent origination of birth and death. Coke in ignorance, bound by...
No, Sally. Sorry. We digest these two paragraphs first. Okay.
Sifu, can you press up? Cannot see.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Leong, thumb up if you finish. Okay, these two paragraphs incurred a very interesting questions. Okay, if let's say one day you were the judge, you were a judge, okay, and a thief has been caught due to maybe stealing the mango tree, stealing the mango, all right, and it comes to you, and you as a judge you will say that you have done a wrong deed. You stole people mango, okay. But the thief said, no lah. The one who stole the mango is the one 3 days ago. I is presently I is I. I is mine. But I am quite different with the one who is 3 days ago. 3 days ago, the people even though how should I put it out? I'm different with I, which is 3 days ago. Now I is I. You can't say that I can't penalize me. The reason is the one who stole the mango is the I which is in 3 days ago. Okay. If the thief argue like this, how can you answer? Sally?
Cannot answer.
Answer. So you have to resist him, you mean? Okay, Elena's so smart. I think you can't really debate the thief. How will you answer the thief?
No, 3 days ago, he stole the mango. It's not the mango today.
Can you further elaborate to convince the thief that you're supposed to be punished?
Okay, 3 days ago, you had the dinner. So today, you're not going to have dinner again. It's not the same person having dinner, is it?
Okay, so we need to say that you want to bring out the point that, I mean, the person 3 days ago and now is the same person, right? Right. Because what the thief tried to debate is, the point is, he said 3 days ago is different with I. Well, it is true. It is a different, but there is a relationship. You can push. It is 3 days ago, but you have to remember that if without the future, we got without the future, we got the present, and without the present, we got the future, and without the past, we got the present. Am I right? So you still can catch him because he is using a very tricky way to debate for himself. Okay, so fine. For the perception of the dependent origination is the same only. So just now the article, do you remember? This is the best way to describe the dependent origination there. If let's say we die, okay, we are going to reincarnate, okay, in our future life. Okay, future life quite surely different with present life. Am I right? Maybe future will be reborn as heaven, in the heaven. But you have to bear in mind that if without present life, where do we have the future? And our karma will be accumulated and will be brought forward to the future. So meaning to say that our relationship is not the same, but that is interconnected. So that is the point. So just now they got two analogy. One is the castle analogy, one is the mango tree analogy, and the tree analogy is the one try to describe this relationship. The tree will be blooming. Okay, the tree will grow up, okay, and then will be fruitful. And once the fruit, it will be the seed, and the seed will grow another tree. So the second tree and the relationship with the second tree with the first tree is related, but it's not the same. That is the point. Okay, sorry, I remember the word apocalyptic. Do you get my words? Christian, they emphasize that there is a doomsday which is apocalyptic. Am I right?
Prophetic.
Apocalyptic, right? Again, Mr. Leong?
Like a prophet, it changed to prophetic.
Oh, prophetic. Oh, No. Okay, wait.
Like something like prophetic.
Prophetic. Not this. Let me like a prophet easily. Apocalyptic.
Apocalyptic.
Oh, yeah. Apocalyptic. Yes. Describe or prophesying the complete destruction of the world. Yeah, apocalyptic. Okay, apocalyptic. Correct pronunciation. Oh, this is quite. This is a difficult word for me. Apocalyptic. Okay. So meaning to say, it is a doomsday also, right? Doomsday, correct? Doomsday also. Yeah. Doomsday also is apocalyptic. Okay. Thank you. This is a difficult word for me. Okay.
Very dangerous situation.
Yes. Actually, the perception of apocalyptic is will make people feel very critical. This is the apocalyptic easy to create a terrorism. Why the people want to practice the terrorism? The reason is they wish to be handpicked by the God. That is the case. They are willing to bomb people and even commit suicide just to please the God, because if they are not handpicked in the apocalyptic, then they will be true to the hell. You see or not? So this is the concept which can be manipulated and easy to create a terrorist. Okay, we continue. Number 776. Okay, whose turn, please? Yeah, Mr. Leong, please. Okay.
76. Clogged by ignorance, bound by the knots of desire, the body with consciousness continues, ceaselessly continues. Many of the descriptions of the links of dependent origination start with consciousness. So the sutra says, returning to the link of consciousness, one cannot go further. However, some versions add the two links of ignorance and volition before the link of consciousness. So the 10 links become 12. The Agama Sutta also says, being clogged in ignorance and bound by the knots of desire, one obtains this body with consciousness. The 3 links of ignorance, desire or volition actions, and consciousness can be regarded as a complete and independent doctrine of dependent origination. When they are united with links following consciousness, they become the 12 parts. The meaning of this independent system of the 3 links will be explained here. The analogies of being clogged in ignorance and bounded by the knots of desire have already been described. The transmigrations of birth and death are like falling blindfolded into a trap of thorn bushes from which one cannot escape. Ignorance means knowing confusedly and erroneously. It is like having one's eyes covered with a cloth. The sutra says, the mind that realizes truth should arise, but it is always obstructed by common ignorance, which is active all the time. Ignorance really has the effect of concealing and obstructing the wisdom that can realize truth. Desire has the effect of attachment, causing people to be bound to birth and death. So it is metaphorically described as knots. With regard to afflictions, ignorance afflicts knowledge and is the confusion of cognition. Desire afflicts emotion and is the attachment of volitional action.
Okay, thank you so much. Well, a lot of terminology has been brought in here. Plus, you have to do some memorizing works here. Mr. Leong, thumb up if you finish.
Shooting up.
Okay, up a little bit.
Up a little bit. Okay.
Okay. So now we go to this part. Okay, class, please bear in mind that you will notice that Agama Sutra is being mentioned many times here. The status of Agama Sutra is equivalent to the Nikaya Sutra. Please copy down Nikaya. This is the word of Nikaya. Nikaya is originated from the the Tawa Timsa, the set of the Tawa Timsa. But for the Agama is originated from the Sawastiwardin. Okay, for the Sawastiwardin. It has something related to the school of thought in Buddhism. Let me try to find it. School of Buddhism. Okay, class, take a look. So this is the Sangha, which is still in the unity, okay, after Buddha Parinibbana, all right. About 100 years, they split to two major groups. One is the Mahasamgika, one is the Stivara, all right. So you see it's split at the second and third council, all right. From the Stivara, it appears that Vaisiputriya, Samatiyas, and the Vipacha Yatins and the Savastivada also appeared here. All right. Then after 100 years, the Thevarada appeared here. Okay. The Nikaya is originated from the Nikaya originated from Theravada, but the Agama is originated from the Savastivada. Since both of them are originated from the Stivara, which is the same. They originated from the it's not the same person, right? It's from the same school. So there is a lot of similarity between two texts, especially Nikaya and also the Agama. So please copy down. I mean, roughly just copy down this diagram. You will understand the text of Agama is originated from here. Okay, maybe you just have a very brief of the diagram. Okay, so class, do you see Mahayana here? We as a Mahayana, we are originated from here. So we need to say that we inherited our teaching from Mahasamgika in the very early stage, Mahasamgika.
Please send it to us in a WhatsApp.
Oh, no problem. I WhatsApp you all. So easy. Easy. So you know there is a different origination. Okay, in this passage, it mentions regards dependent origination. Some start with the consciousness. Okay, so where is the consciousness? Let's take a look. Yeah, the consciousness is here. You see, the third one is the consciousness. Some mention that it's originated from the consciousness, but not all. Some only. Then they say it is bound by the note of the desire. One obtains this body with the consciousness. And the three linga, ignorance, desire is the volitional action. What does it mean, volitional? Volitional means the intention. Okay. The meaning for this sentence is, they say, one state is a mental, one state is a consciousness, and one state is a mental formation, and also the ignorance. The gist for the reincarnation is already complete, because this is the major three component in the reincarnation. So the mental formation is same with the volition. There must be some volition in order to make the karma. Volition is plays very important role. In the past, it is the mental formation, and in the present life, there will be this one. Let me see first. This is the I can't see clearly. Wait lang. Yes, becoming. Let's take a look. Class, always remember that mental formation regards to the volition, and also here the craving. The craving also include the volition at the same time. So this is the two stages which is so important to decide the karma. This mental formation will decide, this volition will decide the karma in the future, which is the present, and our present craving, the volition for the present causes, which is craving, will decide the karma in the future. Okay, always remember that is the clue here. Well, this is quite in depth in Abhidhamma. So one day, hopefully, we can have an Abhidhamma class. I think which Mr. Leong is very hoping for, right? Good. Okay. Abhidhamma is the Buddhism psychology and worth to invest the time for it. Elena, do I use the right word? Invest the time to it. Worth it. Okay. Okay, let's continue. Basically we use the analogy that if we trap in the reincarnation, just like we trap in the thorn bushes. So class, this is the thorn bushes. Basically, once we are within the thorn bushes, we can hardly find a way to go up. It's the same. Once we are in the reincarnation, we are in the thorn bushes. It's very difficult to find out. Not everybody who is enough to segregate that. The elements for 12 to 12 in order to make it easy to find the main cause, which is the craving and also the ignorance. So there will be some the terminology say that ignorance means what? Ignorance are just like a piece of cloth which cover our eye. Basically, ignorance also means the erroneous view, and meaning to say that you know something but which is incorrect. Just like wearing a color spectacle, you see things but see in the wrong way, see in the color way. So that is the analogy they use in this to describe the ignorance. Then another, you see, cover the eye with the cloth, right? And the desire, which means the volition, is described like a knot. This is the knot tie us up and make us cannot come up. Okay. But anyway, and from here, we say affliction, ignorance, affliction, ignorance, afflict knowledge, and it's the confusion of the connections. Yes, affliction is the other thing, you see. Basically, we can hardly escape by having the ignorance and the craving. We must have it. Okay. And the volitions, basically we can decide. But if let's say we always let our affliction decide the volition, it tends to create the bad karma instead of the good karma. So in the future, once we talk about the ignoble truth, meaning to say that in no ignoble truth, by having the right view, we will try to create the karma, but the good karma instead of the bad karma, which always trigger by the uh, 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 by the bad volition. Okay, so this is the point here, lah. Okay, so we finish here. Then next sentence. Okay, whose turn? With these two causes, Sally, your turn.
With these two causes, ignorance and desire, sentient beings obtain a body with essence of sentient being and continue in the cycle of birth and death. This also means that meaning this is also the meaning of ignorance being the father and desire being the mother. Together they produce sentient beings tied to birth and death. This this also generally accords with the saying in the sutras. All karma, desire, and ignorance are the causes for the aggregates of future life. These three things are the primary causes of these three things are the primary causes of the cycle of birth and death. Having a body with consciousness represents the continuation of the grasping consciousness united with existence and is the beginning of a new life. Such a body, together with ignorance, desire, and consciousness, has arisen in an endless continuation since beginningless time, from past to present to future. In the 12-fold dependent origination, the second link is volitional action, which is another name for karma. Such action is simply the conduct associated with desire and initiated by the attributes of the mind. Ignorance, desire, and consciousness in the three-link teaching are therefore interchangeable with ignorance, volitional action, and consciousness in the 12-link teaching. From the perspective of 12 links, consciousness is the beginning of this life. In the case of human, when the father's sperms unite with the mother's egg, consciousness instantly arises and becomes a new life with the function of mental consciousness.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, we digest these two paragraphs first. Okay, not much point for these two paragraphs. It's a sip. Haven't finished yet. not much point. It's still related to the ignorance and desire. Ignorance, desire are the cause to create the body with a consciousness. Okay, so remember the desire here means this mental formation. Sometimes desire still mention the mental formation. Okay. Okay. Basically, this is a very popular phrases which mentioning that ignorance being the father and the desire being the mother. Okay. Sometimes they use the word of the craving. I think maybe craving tanha is more suitable here. All reincarnation, you can include the ignorance and also the craving, being as a father and mother. Once there's ignorance and also there is a craving, sure you will get the body and the conscious. Okay, and always remember that the body and the consciousness, not just as human only, it includes the being in the jhana and also the being in immaterial jhana. Both are the same. All are due to the ignorance and also all are due to the ignorance and also as the desire. Both are the main causes for the three realm. Okay, so here is the same point only. You see, let's take a look. You see, ignorance, desire, consciousness. And here is the ignorance, volitional action, and consciousness. They change only volitional actions, meaning to say that all of them are interchangeable. So here, according here, is interchangeable to explain the situation. Basically, in this point, let's take a look. Okay, once there's a consciousness, mother and mind, especially the consciousness. Here come to the present effect, meaning to say that this is the moment where the sperm of the father unite together with the ovum of the mother. No, I think not eggs, it should be ovum, right? Sadie, am I right? It should be ovum, not eggs, right? Ovum, should be ovum. So we make it together. Once they met together, met together, that is the starting of the consciousness. This is a controversy issue in the Western culture. In the Western culture, especially in the modern science, they are trying to develop the organ and also the tissue from the stem cell. Where do they get the stem cell? The stem cell, they got the stem cell from the, the zygote. Well, the definition for the zygote is so crucial here. If the zygote possesses the life, you are considered murdering if you take out the zygote for the stem cell development. So how to define the life of the zygote? So some, they suggest that before the heartbeat of the zygote is still considered lifeless. It is still considered lifeless. So if you take out the zygote without life, which is without the life, you are not considered murdering. So what do you say in the Buddhism? Are you considered murder? Are you considered murdering the life if you use the zygote for the stem cell developing purpose? Elena?
Depends whether depends whether there's a pollution or not. If it's
you mean the finished product?
No product, no life.
Okay. How about Sally? Are you consider killing a life if you take the zygote for the stem cell development?
But there's no life yet. So how can it be killing a life?
Okay. Mr. Leong?
I think cells are living organism. Yes, it is called killing.
A clap for Mr. Leong. Yes. Well, class, there's no room for stem cell study for stem cell development in Buddhism term of view. As long as the zygote, the ovum and the sperm then the union together, there's a life already. So that is the definition of the consciousness already. So meaning to say that there's no room. You have to kill something in order to develop the organ or the tissue by using the stem cell. See, class, you see. So that is the controversy part. And our decision is quite clear. But for Western culture, they don't. I think sometimes scientists also quite selfish because they want things to study. They want new coming. They want to find out the new theory. Then so they will define the life. If let's say the zygote without the heartbeat or without the development of the nerve, it is considered lifeless. They have to think other ways in order to further the scientific study. Okay, let me see. Shall we stop here? Let me take a look. Yes, I think we can stop here. So we stop here.